The wind has no obstacles here. It pours from a white sky and scours the thin soil. A relentless force that has traveled across 1,000 years of ice to find them. The clan, no more than 30 souls, moves through this emptiness like a single, slow-treading animal. They are the first of their kind to feel this wind, to see this pale, anemic sun. For these Homo sapiens, this is not a new world. It is the end of the old one. The cold is a predator that lives under their skin, and hunger is a dull stone grinding in their bellies. For 3 days, they have eaten only lichen scraped from the rocks. A bitter green paste that offers insult, not energy. The great beasts, the hairy mammoths and rhinos that sustained their ancestors across the frozen north, are gone. Here, there are only ghosts in the wind and the deafening silence of a continent holding its breath. This is the raw state of prehistoric life, a gamble played at the very edge of existence. An old woman, then stops. Her face is a map of every winter they have survived, etched into leather-edged skin. The clan halts with her, a silent, disciplined ripple. A child, no more than 5 winters old, stumbles, and 3 hands catch him before he can fall, drawing him back into the warmth of the collective. This is their strength, the invisible sinew that binds them. Anna's eyes, clouded with cataracts but missing nothing, scan the horizon. There is no game, no birds, no tracks in the frozen mud but their own. She knows this passive starvation is a slower death than a predator's charge, but just as certain, she makes a gesture, a slight turn of her head, and 2 men detach themselves from the group. They are the fastest, their bodies stripped of all but muscle and sinew by the long journey. They carry their most precious inheritance, the lithic technology of their people, embodied in the wickedly sharp points hafted to their short spears. These are the descendants of a long line of ancient humans, their survival skills honed by generations of hardship. They do not speak. The command is understood in the tilt of an oar's chin, in the shared desperation that is their only language now. They will run ahead, scout for a break in this bleak monotony. A riddle, a sign, anything. It is a hard choice. Sending out their strongest hunters weakens the main group, leaving them more vulnerable. But to stay together is to starve together. Anna breaks off a piece of her own lichen cake and presses it into the hand of one of the men. He takes it without looking, his gaze already fixed on the grey line where the earth meets the sky. He hummed his companion nod once, a final, minute acknowledgement, before breaking into a ground-eating trot, their movements fluid and economical. The clan watches them shrink into the vastness, 2 small specks of focused hope against an indifferent landscape. They are gambling the strength of their present for a chance at a future, a defining trait of human evolution. The rest of the clan huddles together, turning their backs to the wind, and waits. The fear now is not of what they might find, but of the endless, silent nothing they are already in. Hours stretch into a grey eternity. The scout, Tail, feels the burn in his lungs before he feels it in his legs. His entire existence is reduced to the rhythm of his own breathing and the pounding of his moccasins on the hard-packed earth. This land is a lie, a vast, empty promise. But then, the world falls away. He and his companion reach the edge of a shallow escarpment, and the wind changes. It no longer carries the scent of dust and ice, but of damp earth, of green things growing, and of animals. Below them lies a valley, a secret tapestry of life woven in defiance of the barren lands above. Herds of creatures bigger than any bison move with a dreamlike slowness. Shaggy, elephant-like beasts with curving tusks. Colombian mammoths stare at low-hanging branches. Giant, Armadillo-yptodons, like living boulders, graze on the tough grasses, and hulking ground sloths, rising on their hind legs to a terrifying height, methodically strip trees of their leaves. The 2 men sink into the cover of the scrub brush, their hearts hammering not with fear, but with a paralyzing awe. These creatures of this prehistoric life do not startle. They do not test the wind for scent. They have no sentinels. They have no fear. They have lived for millennia in a world without the two-legged predator, without the particular threat that has sharpened the instincts of every beast in the world they left behind. Kel watches a young mammoth wander less than 50 paces from their position. It's large, dark-eyed, placid and curious. It is a look of innocence he has never seen in prey. His companion, uncoiling a length of sinew, slowly fits a spear to his outlet. This simple lever, a carved piece of wood, is one of the most lethal ancient tools ever conceived. A force multiplier that will turn his arm into a weapon of shocking power. His spear is tipped with a masterpiece of their craft, a fluted stone head that will leave a distinctive mark for future archaeology to find the Clovis point, designed for one purpose: to pierce thick hide and kill with catastrophic speed. The other skeleton is sent back, a silent spectre retracing their path with the news. When the clan arrives, they move like ghosts in the tall grass. Their movements are genetic memory passed down through an unbroken line of human ancestors.
Preparing to fight
they are no longer starving wretches, but a single, intelligent hunting machine. Anna directs them with hand signals, positioning the strongest arms, creating a kill zone. The target is a lone, half-grown sleuth. An easy mark. The signal is given. A volley of darts arcs through the air, propelled by the whip crack of a half-dozen atlatis. They strike the beast's flank with a series of wet, heavy thuds. The creature bellows, a sound of pure confusion and agony, not understanding the source of its pain. It tumbles, trying to run, but its own bulk is its enemy. A second volley finds its neck and ribs. It crashes to the ground, shaking the earth, and is silent. The clan swarms it, not with celebration, but with a quiet, desperate efficiency. In the heart of this untouched Edom, a profound and terrible equation has just been solved. The hunters have found a world that does not know how to fear them, and survival has just become terrifyingly simple. The age of hunger is over. The clan thrives. The fire burns high day and night, fed by rendered animal fat that casts a greasy, yellow light on their new reality. Children, once a liability on the long march, now chase each other between drying racks heavy with strips of meat. Their bellies full for the first time in their lives. The artisans of the clan, freed from the constant pressure of the hunt, now out of time. They refine their lithic technology, napping caches of impossibly sharp Clovis points from obsidian and chert, creating a surplus of death that sits waiting in high-wrapped bundles. They are a people remade by plenty. The constant, gnawing fear has been replaced by a confident swagger. They have mastered this world. For the younger hunters, this is their only truth. They see a land of infinite meat, a gift from the spirits for their perseverance. This moment, a blink in the vast timeline of human evolution, is a golden age forged in the blood of naive giants. But Anna does not share their celebration. She sits by the fire, her old eyes seeing a different story. Her foresight, the instinct that guided them here, now shows her a disturbing pattern. The hunts have to go further now. The great herds that once grazed at the valley's edge have retreated, will vanish. The thunder of their movements, once a constant, comforting rumble on the horizon, has been replaced by a growing stillness. The air itself feels thinner, emptier. She walks to the edge of the camp, to the bone pit. It is no longer a pit, it is a hill, a white, gleaming monument to their success, picked clean by birds that have grown fat and bold. In this growing mountain of skeletons, the rhodator for a future science of archaeology, she reads a grim ledger. She sees the ghost of every beast they have killed, and she feels the imbalance they have brought to this land. She tries to warn them, using a piece of charcoal. She draws a mammoth on a flat stone, then draws many hunters around it. Then she draws another stone with fewer mammoths, and then a final stone with none at all, only the hunters, their mouths open in a silent scream. It is a simple story, a desperate attempt at communication across the gulf of their new prosperity. The young hunters look at her drawings and smile, patting her shoulder. They see a record of their glory, not a warning of its cost. For them, The world is a feast that will never end. They cannot comprehend scarcity when their stomachs are full. Anna's altruism point is for the grandchildren not yet born. But their focus is only on the next meal. One evening, a hunting party returns late, their faces grim. They carry only a juvenile GLYPTO on. They speak of walking for a full day and seeing nothing. Not one of the great beasts. The valley, they say, is quiet. Too quiet. A different kind of fear, cold and unfamiliar, begins to seep into the camp. The silence they have created is beginning to speak, and they are only now starting to understand its language. The apex predator has triggered a trophic cascade, and the cost of their victory is the unraveling of Eden itself. From the vantage point of geologic time, their story is not unique. It is a single, poignant verse in the epic of human expansion. What happened in this one valley happened in 1,000 others. As bands of hunters, armed with a lethal toolkit and a mind honed by the unforgiving pressures of the old world, spread across 2 continents, they were not malicious. They were not an apocalypse in intention. They were simply, terrifyingly, successful. They were a keystone species arriving in an ecosystem that had no keyhole for them, and their very presence shattered the lock. The great beasts of the Pleistocene megafauna vanished, not in a single cataclysm, but in a death by 1,000 cuts, a slow-motion extinction event written one Clovis point at a time. The bones of Anna's Valley are a microcosm of a continental tragedy. Their brief golden age was the twilight of an entire world, a testament to the profound and terrifying power of Homo sapiens to reshape the planet. Long before humans of the modern age believed they had such power, their instincts, their drive to secure a future for their children, ended up erasing the very future of the creatures they depended upon. It is the deepest paradox of our ancestry, an echo that still resonates in the silence of our own time. Our greatest strength, our ability to overcome nature, has always been inseparable from our capacity to destroy it. This is the chronicler, bearing witness to the echoes in the silence. And so the ghosts of one world became the ancestors of the next.